kitchen on a Monday, which, as you know, is my day off. So there's no makeup, no anything fancy going on here. I spent some time up in the hills behind my house today collecting some pine sap, both limber pine and ponderosa pine, to make a skin salve. I have some family members that have some cracked knuckles, some chilblain sort of cracks on their fingertips and stuff, and pine sap is an amazing healing tool, gift that we have been given us from nature. The purpose of pine sap in trees is a tree gets an injury and it releases this sap that protects the injury, covers it. I'm guessing it could be antibacterial, keeping the fungus and the bacteria out of the tree so the tree can heal. Pine sap, believe it or not, it does the exact same thing for us that it does for the tree. It will cover our wound. I mean, literally, if you get a wound while you're out in nature, you can take the sticky pine sap right off the tree and put it right on your scratch, boo-boo, bug bite, whatever, and it's going to help it heal faster. So what I did was I collected some, very thankfully, with much gratitude in my heart to Mother Nature for giving me this, and I am going to make a salve out of it. So I combine it with some olive oil, and a little bit of beeswax to make it a little firmer, and then I melt it. So first I'm going to show you actually what pine sap looks like. So that right there are some little bits of soft limber pine sap I collected. But this, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That is a big chunk of ponderosa pine sap that I collected. We do other things with this sap too in our house and in the shop at Vintage Apothecary. It's amazing for burning, for smoke cleansing. We place it on a charcoal disc and it smokes and it makes the air smell great. It cleans the air. It raises the vibration in the room. So it's an awesome tool. And actually these big chunks are kind of big for me to melt. So either I'll break them up and melt them and make a salve, or I will use them to burn. But they're just beautiful. It's like amber almost before it goes through the process of becoming a stone. So anyway, what I've done, and I wanted to kind of show you, is I've taken about a half a cup of that sap. It looks kind of interesting now. Combined it with olive oil and beeswax in a jar, and I've sacrificed one of my chopsticks to this process, and I just have it in a let's see if I can get that in there, a water bath on a medium heat, and I'm just the sap is going to slowly melt in there. When it's done and all melted and ready to go, I'm going to add, I don't know what I'm going to add yet, but I think I'm going to add some honey. I'm not going to heat the honey. Just as it's slightly warm, I'll add some honey. Honey is a great antibacterial and antifungal. So not only will the honey help keep the salve nice and fresh on the shelf, it will also provide additional healing properties for whatever wounds it's being used on. And there's also an option to add essential oils to that, to add frankincense oil, which is healing. Even lavender oil is soothing. So there's lots of options of things to add to this salve as I go. Once it's done, I'll show you what it looks like as I pour it into the containers. Hi everyone. I'm back in the kitchen. It has been about 3 hours of simmering in a water bath the pine sap with the olive oil. And so what we have here now is the pine sap simmered with olive oil until it's almost all dissolved. And what I have left, this is going to look kind of weird. This is the chunk of the stuff that's left after I kind of strain out the solids. So there's some older sap in there, there's some pine bark in there. It's just all the stuff that isn't going to make a nice salve, and actually I'm going to keep that, and I think we can break it into chunks and burn it as a smoke cleanse in the house and in the shop. So then, I have my jar here with melted pine sap and olive oil. To that, I added about an eighth of a cup of beeswax, about the same amount as the olive oil, and also about an eighth of a cup of honey. You don't have to add the honey. I have this amazing local, unfiltered, never heated, beautiful honey that is antibacterial, antifungal, and will just add to the wonderful healing qualities of the balm. So I added that. And I also added a few drops of lavender, just because lavender is soothing to the skin and will help with any abrasions and cuts and insect bites and stuff like that. Really, I make it as I add to the salves what I'm called to do at the time, and then I just make notes of it so I know what's in it. But it does change from time to time based on what I think people are going to need. So, and my intuition and what I have at hand. So now we're ready to we have these little, I don't know if you can see those, little salve containers there. These are tiny pocket-sized ones because they're what I have right now, and I actually felt like making this today. So we're going to do little tiny pocket-sized ones. They will be handy to have in your purse or in your pocket while you're hiking if you get a bee sting or a scratch or a cut, or just next to your bedside for those cracked fingers in the wintertime. So it was great to see you guys. I will catch up with you next time I make something fun. Have a good day.